Oh yeah, okay. I'm nervous about this. So we ain't no stupids, and well, we wanted to get it jumping off of the war what's going on with the Russia invading Ukraine. Um, so what I really wanted to talk about was the financial side of it, basically, mostly, because
Like basically like how it's going to affect our economy.
basically, yeah, like how we're seeing now with the stock market dropping, crypto's dropping. Um, what I don't like about it, I should say, is the market is starting to bull up a little early. So that's
All
kind of
right.
a
So okay, all right. Help me out with this one thing first. Okay, so this Russia invading Ukraine is affecting our economy. I'm a little dumb. How? Like, so how is this like what the fuck going on way over there affecting
that's one of our allies,
which one, Ukraine or Russia?
Ukraine.
Okay.
And we're putting sanctions on Russia, so that usually hurts the people more than it actually hurt the country. So that's one of those
All right.
things.
So
Yeah,
I
and
heard
usually
it.
with war, your oil like energy goes up far as war.
Mhm.
So your oil prices like have you seen today, as of recording right now, barrels of oil first time in years went over 105 a barrel. So
Well, I did hear that first that oil was gonna go
mhm.
high, but so when Biden put the sanctions on Russia, what were the sanctions?
To be honest with you, I don't even know. To be 100% honest with you, there's like we sanctioning Russia, and they just put like left equipment there for Ukraine to fight for themselves, and it's kind of a sticky situation because it's like if that's supposed to be like that's like watching your boy get jumped or whatever, right? And you're not doing anything about it. That's how I feel about it. So it's at the same time I
But
kind
it
of
also kind of makes, I mean, because I know a little bit about it, a little bit. What you saying is like watching your boy get jumped, but I kind of feel like, is that our boy for real, or is that just somebody that we was like using because it would be cool for them to be? It's like we can use them in the future. Cause
yeah,
that's what I was saying. Like if it was our boy for real, we would already have people there.
pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and that's another sticky situation because right now Biden's kind of in a lose right now, especially being president and having this to happen like it did because a lot of people are like, oh, because you don't have a backbone, they feel like it's okay to do this, or and if you do go in there, it's like, why are you taking our troops and wasting lives again with another war, another dick swinging contest. So it's like you really your hands. I mean, you got to sit on your hands on this, but
I mean,
I
'cause
look
that
at
sound
it
like a
like
dick, but I mean, like, because people, I've been hearing like, yeah, they are our allies, but I mean, like, in what way? Like, how was that relationship working if they don't have a military for real?
now they have a military. They have a
But
military. It's just not as big as Russia's.
no, from what I heard, they didn't have like a real military.
Nah,
I heard they had like a bunch of like independent motherfuckers.
Nah, they got a military.
Oh, so they got a real military?
Yeah, they got
Okay.
real military.
So what were we getting from each other? Like in this allyship, what was the Ukraine getting from America, and what was America getting from Ukraine?
I would see, and this is another thing. I would assume resources like oil and stuff like that because Russia is real versed in oil.
Mm.
So I don't know 100% sure on it. But I think that's kind of a like, see, and that's the thing about living here in the United States is like we're so spoiled. It kind of don't really matter to us.
I mean,
You know what I mean? And that's the reason why I was like, yo, let's talk about the finances of it. And that's kind of
Yeah.
fucked up because like in all honesty, let's be diplomatic here and be like, yo, people are losing their lives out here. And it's crazy. Off of like he's looking at it as like, well, when it was USSR, we had you guys and you wanted your independence. So Ukraine looking at it like, well, if you guys got some bullshit behind y'all, I don't want to be tied to you. So we're gonna take this to the death. And I kind of disagree with that because I'm more looking at things short term, but looking at things long term, it's kind of it kind of made sense to fight to the death of like, look, if you're gonna take this, then I'm gonna put up a hell of a fight. You're gonna lose some shit too. So I kind of get.
Yeah, but so. But my problem with that way of thinking is the people that's making that decisions are normally the last ones to have to die.
True.
And it's like there's people on the ground that don't really care about it, and they're gonna be the first ones to die. And you're basically like you're sacrificing their lives so you can make a point. You know what I'm saying?
I get it, but the reason why people are in leadership roles, I think in this situation, people are in leadership roles because they are supposed to pass down like a lifestyle, a way of thinking, a culture of like, this is what we stand for. This is what we have going on for us. And we set that independence for us. So your children can follow this and it'll be great for them. So to look at it like these are the people that's fighting the war and it's not fair to them, yeah, but I'm pretty sure, well, no, I can't even say that because they stopped men from leaving there from ages 18 to 60. So I'm guessing they drafting. Like, you're going to fight.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I did see something like that. So, now how much of this, the economy being affected is just people reacting early to the idea of the war affecting the economy? For example, all right, so people been talking about, all right, UFOs, aliens, yada 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 and shit, right?
Right.
Oh, I'm going somewhere. I'll tell you where I'm going. So it's like we send a fucking what's that, the Land Rover to Mars,
right?
And it's been there for like 20 something years, and they started saying like, oh, we are detecting
water,
like and microorganisms and shit on Mars. So there's life on Mars, and I'm like, nigga, I think we're the ones that put the life on Mars. Like, maybe some of that bacteria is from Earth that's on the goddamn
Land Rover.
Yeah, then y'all put that shit, and then it just starts adapting to Mars over 20 years, and then it becomes some other shit. And they're like, oh, we discovered life. No, y'all brought the life there.
Right.
So it's like, if this was happening now, was it like, oh man, the fucking the war is going to affect the economy?
And then so everybody starts like reacting. It's not organic.
Yeah, so it's like it's not really like. Is the only reason that the war is affecting the economy is because we expect it to affect the economy, so everybody's reacting quickly. Therefore, like, is that a thing? Because it happened pretty fast.
That can be a thing because that's a good point.
Yeah, because they invaded last week, but we're already seeing dips and fucking
because usually
peaks and valleys and the goddamn shit, and it's like but nothing. So like whatever fucking sanctions Biden put on Putin haven't even come into effect yet. Right. But all of this shit is how
jumping, you know and I think it's also about like TA. So you got your chart analysis. This is how like your millionaires and billionaires. Well, I shouldn't say millionaires. This is how your billionaires stay in power, as far as keeping the billions. They call this like a war. The virus. I'm not gonna say the C word 19, but they call that black swan events. Okay. So with a black swan event, and they can basically read the charts. Like charts are okay. So backing up, doing finances, charts are basically human emotion. Once you realize it's all human emotion, it will make life so much easier. You won't be so tied into your stocks. You won't be so tied into your coins with either one that you go into, because both of the markets react the same way when this news happen. So, with that being said, it's going to happen simply because that's how people react. And you're right, as far as the science, like, it hasn't went into the effect yet. We don't know if it's going to be an all-out war. They're going to give up and then just say, hey, look, we saw what y'all done. We don't know how long it's gonna last, but what we do know is people are going to act the same. We're still dealing with the same human beings that we always dealt with. So the S&P is down. They're making a recovery, but what's a recovery to losing 3% today and gaining 3% tomorrow? Because the gain of 3% is using less money, so you really didn't recover yet.
Yeah.
So that happened. So this is all recorded Friday. So the viewers can understand what we're talking about. In
the 25th of February.
Yeah, and that's going to matter. And the reason why that matters because a lot of this stuff is time. Like when you start reading charts, a lot of it's time. You're going to see the dip. You're going to see oil and all type of energy resources go up. It always happens. So with all this happening, yes, it's not organic. To answer your question in short term. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have for is that because with this it's gonna be a weird thing because it's gonna be so much that's gonna happen within the war, and then after the war it always go parabolic. So do not sell. I shouldn't say this because it's not financial advice, but if it was me, I would not sell anything. I would wait till it go back up because you're already in it now. If you got money into it, like most Americans do at our age. So
what you saying? All right.
You good?
Yeah.
Oh.
Nah, okay, so do you see this as being like a? I mean, it's going to sound very fucked up, but just facts. You see this as a way to? You think people are gonna be able to come up from this?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's what and that's why I was like, yo, we kind of spoiled being Americans, and I didn't want to just straight up say it, but yeah, it's a way to come up, and that's the reason why I put it in the group chat like that. Like, yo, we need to talk about before, during, and after war, what it's going to do with our finances, so people will understand, especially people in our age group that hasn't. We haven't seen war, right? We haven't seen like a real war, right?
Yeah, motherfucker. What do you think was all that shit in the 2000s with Bush and Obama? You don't consider that war?
I don't consider that.
Why not?
A declaration of war because we kind of like took it. Like with Gaddafi and everything with Obama, we kind of took it. It wasn't really a war. It's like people died, yeah, but it was like we kind of like snatched the candy from the baby hand. I
wouldn't describe it as being that simple.
It kind of was.
It was years and years.
It happened in the same term.
Did it?
Yes.
Well, nigga was still years.
That shit was kind of quick. That shit, it happened. Yeah, it happened all in his first term. Yeah. That shit was quick. Realistically, years. But the market, look, traditional market swings every 8 years. The new market that we have now, Web 3.0, or as you guys know, blockchain, that's traditionally happen every 4 years. These are proven. So with a swing like that, with taking over Gaddafi to oil and having USA on every oil purchase that you have is a big thing. But for the market to swing like that in under 8 years is also a big thing. Like people came up off of that. People came off of the old Black Swan event is C19. People are going to come up off of this. So it's one of those things like you guys need to get your ducks in order. Like that money that you save, or you know what I mean? Like, and plus don't over invest, of course. Don't you're never supposed to invest more than 10% of your earnings. But
how? I mean, saying like it's always like, so how do you know what you should invest in and what you shouldn't invest in?
Blue chip.
What's blue chip? What the fuck is that?
Top stocks. Blue chips are top stocks like Amazon, Microsoft, all blue chip. Blue chip coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. Um, and I think they're talking about. Matter of fact, I think that was one of the things too. They may take Russia off the SWIFT network. So,
What's that?
how our money's being transferred from one place to the next. So,
Is that more crypto talk?
no, that's actually traditional market. Yeah.
All right, so explain that a little bit. You saying they're taking them off, but we say what was it?
SWIFT.
Swift. All right, so
So that's like the way the U.S. transact money across the border, cross border payments, like changing our payment from I don't know what they use over there. to be
So
honest with
man,
you.
so does this mean that there will be no more direct seller buyer relationship between anybody U.S. and anybody Russia? So if your business doing business with a business in Russia, it's a wrap. Is that what that means?
Somewhat. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be one of those hairy things. It's gonna be because we still talking about because we still talking about it early. It's one of those things like, look, this is what you do. This. The only thing that it is proven is blue chips go down in the beginning of the war, and they go parabolic at the end. So what you want to do is it dropped already. So you're still in the plus, even if you was to invest right now, you're going to be in a plus. It's like a given. Now, is it going to 10x or 5x? No one knows. But at the same time, it's going to go up, and that's a given.
Now, what I just thought about is so is America no longer as important as we used to be? Because it's seeming like I just thought about something. I was like, all right, we lost the Middle East with Obama. He pissed everybody off. We lost China with Trump, and now he about to lose Russia with Biden. And it kind of seems like no one's giving a fuck about losing America. It's like so because I know prices and stuff went up because of all the bans that Trump put on China, so we're not getting shit like directly from China, and everybody got to go around China, and it's like just the shipping cost alone.
Everything's high. It hurt the people just like normal. Yep.
Yeah, and so it's like so that already affected us. Now you saying this Russia thing, so it's like so now people that go around Russia also, so we can't fuck with Russia or China.
It's gonna be like the European Union, but without Russia.
So we kind of running out of friends.
Yeah, I mean we got Britain, Canada, El Salvador. It's like, you know what I mean? We still got what? We still got Israel, don't we?
I'm not sure.
I think we do. Netanyahu, if you out there, man, we still got you. Like, yo, I think we still got. I think we still out here with Netanyahu, man.
Yeah, but I mean, like, because it was like, and this is going to be. It sounds dumb, but it kind of fits into what I'm saying. But it kind of reminds me how Japan stopped prioritizing America as a market.
They did.
It's like, you know what I'm saying, like when the Japanese make some dope shit, like back in the 80s and 90s, they made sure that shit got to America, and they could flood that, they could like make their money in America. But it's like somewhere in the early 2000s they started being like, America's we'll get you guys last.
Yeah.
And they like send us like limited amounts of shit.
This is true.
Yeah, and we don't get the top notch shit no more. Like they niggas who say like when you like go to Japan and you see their cell phones, it's like ridiculous compared to the bullshit we got over. And so I'm like, okay, we start adding all of that shit up. Like as far as like seems like, are we just not important as we used to be? Does nobody respect us anymore? What the fuck happened? Am I tripping or?
I'm not gonna say you tripping. I'm gonna say you 100% right on that. I'm gonna also add that I think people are like not being afraid no more. Like it's one of those things like you punch the bully in the mouth. It's like, what are you really going to do? You know? So I think Russia doing this, and they saw how we handle other stuff, and they just they just took over our supplies, and they was like, well, we're here. I mean, what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna come back? And it's like we done got punched in the face. So it's like those guys ain't as tough as we thought they were. So, and plus we're not together anymore. I mean, war usually brings out nationalism. So I guess with the previous president, we're not gonna say his name, making it so separated. I mean, you would think people would be together with this president, but at the same time, he's so backed up to the wall. There ain't no way he gonna win anything, and his approval rate is on shit right now. So it's like, what are we? It's like, what are we doing here? It's almost like invading us with a civil war going on. It's like we're gonna lose.
Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to get y'all shit together.
Pretty much. We don't have our shit together, our damn self. So really,
what you gonna do? Invade us? Man, invade your backyard, motherfucker.
Yeah, I know, right? So it's getting crazy, man. Like, you're right. It's getting to the point where it's like, yo, why do we need to prioritize y'all at all? Like, what do you guys, like, your economy shit. So what do we need to do with you guys?
Yeah, and it's like, I never really looked at people like being. I never felt like if at least in my lifetime, I didn't feel like people were like afraid of America on some war shit.
Mm-hmm.
I always felt like our threat was always, we'll cut you off. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna want our resources and shit. And it's like, I think we got to the point where we don't have any more bargaining chips.
No, we don't. No.
Like, what the fuck? Like you said, what you gonna do? What? We can't. What? Y'all need us more than we need y'all.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, the only thing we could say we could bank on is what, renewable energy. But how real is that?
Well, we still talk about a civil war. That's a fucking civil war within itself. Like, you know, we can't get on the same page about that shit.
I know, right? Because Tesla was talking about getting separated, right? There was like,
oh, yeah,
the oil thing. They was talking about separating. I was like, what? What kind of bullshit is that? So it's gonna be a hairy situation. This is gonna be very interesting. I wish I could live another 100 years just so I could see what. I mean, to be serious, I want to see what happens. It's like a story that you like get in the middle of. It's like, ooh, it's juicy and it's bedtime. So
yeah, right.
I need to. Do I want to read this for another hour, or do I go to sleep and get some rest? So it's gonna be crazy. But I do know one thing for sure. I don't know. Out of everything that I mentioned, I'm going to say this. I know for sure the market will rebound crazy. I do know that because history has proven every single time it's done that.
So would you advise? Fuck it, advise. Why not? You know,
nah, you don't.
We're not experts. We don't know.
Yeah.
We just do things.
Yeah, we just.
Would you advise people to buy now?
Buy now, yeah. I mean, dollar cost average now. Don't sell the barn. Dollar cost average. 100 here, 100 there. I mean, if we go to war, Tyco, Halliburton, invest in them. I think rubber goes up too. Anything that has to do with oil too, right? I think.
I don't know.
I know rubber, oil, and metals always go up during war. Of course, you know why.
Yeah.
But that ship is already sailed. I think you're supposed to invest in that before. So don't do that now. Now, if you're looking to short that, yeah, that'd be good. But I wouldn't buy any of that right now. What you want to buy is just anything that drop that's blue chip. Buy. You won't lose.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird with it being a whole war. And it's like how numb to death I've become in my little 36 years of life. I done seen so much wild shit. And it's just like, oh, people killing each other again. All right.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I live in Portsmouth. I'm hearing gunshots and people dying literally every night. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you know, it's kind of hard to be shocked and surprised by what's going on in a whole nother country.
Yeah.
You
know? And I try not to be too like blacker than black. You know how you see those people as like super black is almost annoying.
Yeah.
And
I can get that way sometimes.
But you're not to the point where you're like, well, they shoot black people in the middle of the street, so this is all right. This little white on white crime. Like,
oh yeah,
I've been seeing that, and I'm like, really?
Yeah,
Is this what we doing now?
Yeah, some folks is wild.
Yeah, don't be like that. Don't be that person. But I mean, let's be real. If a bomb went off in your backyard and your government was like, we need you to fight, how would you feel?
Oh, specifically me?
Yeah.
And this government?
Yeah.
I feel insulted.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, y'all, what? Nah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's fucking Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much. And that's kind of bad because, like, we lump everybody up in Ukraine and we lump everybody up in Russia and all across the world. We lump people up. What about the people who lump us up? You know? Like, they probably think, like, oh, well, you voted for that president. You should be cool with that. Well, you knew what you was getting into. You're an American, right?
Oh, yeah.
You see what I mean? And think about all the people who's like, well, I don't really want this war and all this other stuff, but bombs are flying, and I don't agree with this, but at the same time, I don't agree with that either. So what did they do? You know what I mean? Because you're forced to fight now for something you don't believe in. Are you really enthusiastic to go out there and
yeah, you're not.
You know what I mean?
Especially, like I said, it was the fucking, we got problems with the government our goddamn selves. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like somebody come into your neighborhood, kill your kids, and then somebody punch them in the face. Yeah, then somebody punch them in the face, and they come to you like, come, fight.
Yeah.
We're all...
It's all for this flag.
Yeah. Like I said, I would feel insulted.
Yeah. But did you, I heard another argument. This is an argument I heard on YouTube. Is this a good time to ask for reparations? Because they're approval ratings and shit.
I personally kind of feel like fuck reparations.
Why is this?
Cause I mean, we ain't getting them, so stop. It's like
you begging. It's like you begging to a.
No, isn't that the begging part? I don't mind that. What my problem is like people is waiting on that shit, and it's almost like it'll keep you stagnant. Mm-hmm. Like you still waiting for some kind of policy to be made or some kind of some form of reparations before you get your shit together. And it's like, no, we don't. Another thing is like, all right, they owe us, but we don't need it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I feel like people are running in place waiting for the reparations when it's like, yo, we can just, so it's like just the whole idea of reparations. And not to mention, we can't even get together on what the fuck we want the reparations to be. Fuck it. Let's just, I'm at the point where I would goddamn, like, I'm on some, let's figure out some shit like, leave us the fuck alone. And that'll be our reparations.
Don't shoot us in the street.
Please. Well, not just that. I mean, like, leave us the fuck. Like, let us be us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, stop bothering us so goddamn much. Like, make it so we can just live. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Without everything being such a goddamn hassle, and we'll call it even. That's kind of like where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like I said, there was like I mean, shit like how the black girls made black girl yoga and they got that shit shut down.
For what? I never heard of that. Because
it was racist and the white girls didn't feel like they were included, type shit. Just leave us the fuck alone. That's some shit like, you know, just hey, you see black folks.
See, that's kind of a fine line, because what if a white girl put a white girl yoga? You know what I mean?
Nah, it ain't the same. It ain't the same at all.
No, it's not the same, but at the same time, it will bring a little bit of attention. I'm just trying to.
Because when you see something like black girl yoga, you understand why it exists.
You know what? Yeah, I do. And that's why I say
it gotta be.
Yeah.
So you gotta think about it being like something that should exist.
I agree with you.
Here's another one. If there's a fucking a yoga place called Men Do Yoga. Mm-hmm. It's like the same thing, because you know men are the minority in the yoga spaces.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, where can dudes go where we don't feel like, you know what I'm saying, we're in this thing that's built for women.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's really what I've had this conversation, but not on our podcast. But it's like that. So I'm just saying, like,
Right.
So when I'm saying leave it the fuck alone, I'm talking about stuff like that. Like stop shutting down everything we do. Stop giving us a hard time. Get rid of all them fucking racist ass laws that y'all know are racist. You know what I'm saying? Like how they got, okay, murder is one thing, but it's like 20 different charges for murder.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the way they word them shits is like on some stuff like, all right, two dudes can do the same crime the exact same way, but get different charges.
Right.
And the different charges have different punishments. Get rid of all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when I'm saying leave it the fuck alone, I'm talking about that type shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like all that little fine print in the laws that's fucking us over. All that, you know what I'm saying? All of it. Just, get rid of all that dumbass shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Make fucking
cop discretion shit.
Yeah, fucking is anything that y'all because we all know what the fuck it is. Like, just get with some lawyers and shit, and everybody they all go through and clean up all that bullshit, and then we'll call it even. That's where I'm at with reparations.
I feel you. Nah, my whole thing is like, I hate to say this, because I'm not trying to be a bad example. I'm starting to kind of like slowly give up on voting.
I've been gave up.
Yeah, I didn't see. Okay, I don't want to be a bad example. So if you feel like voting is cool, right? But I'm to the point where
except locally, but keep going.
I'm to the point where I feel like street politics are starting to come into fruition, I think. And the reason why I say street politics and what I mean by street politics is get a whole bunch of people like come together as a community or whatever I need to come together as. Even if I got to come up with a social media group, and we're going to get some people, come up to an agreement on situations that we want, and say I have 10,000 people or 1,000 people, $100 each. We go up with some lobbyists and we fight for that. And get to the point where I'm like that because it don't matter who's in office because motherfuckers ain't doing shit. I mean, I hate to say it. I don't want to say it so raw, but at the same time, I feel like we need to. It has to be something else because right now,
everybody that goes in the office goes in there for a specific reason that's personal to them. Keep going.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think to the point. I think like how we was talking about red pill off the camera and stuff. I think it got to the point where so many people know this that they're raging off it. And like, instead of just raging, we need to come together and just think like, okay, what can we ask for? What can we do to make these things work? And are you willing to do the work afterwards? After it's passed? That's what I need to be on right now because I'm really going to start getting together, pen and paper, and just write down some good ideas, argue, make myself look dumb, put myself out there, and just perfect this shit to a point where I'm like, do this. Who's with me with this? Get people with me. If you're not with me, that's cool. And we don't have to be bashing each other on some bullshit, but just like we need to get something moved far as our people, like how you said, like to leave us the fuck alone because a lot of the shit, like people our age, we at the age now, we ain't doing no dumbass shit. Like who the fuck out there? You said people out there killing and shooting and shit, and you're right. I hear the shit too. You see the news, you pop over the news and see that shit. This shit is stupid.
Yeah, and all them motherfuckers are teenagers.
I know.
18 and younger.
That shit is retarded, man. This shit is getting crazy out here. But it's like even with stuff, even with things like with people our age. And I'm not saying like, oh, we're gonna bring up a charity case and stuff like that. But I'm saying have something to look forward to as far as our children. You know what I mean? Like even something as simple as having a workforce come up with daycares at the hub. So say like you go to job, right? Your job. At the hub, you could drop your kid off at the hub, do your hours, not feel like you got to rush home to go do this and that. You know your kid's safe. He's at your job. They got a whole thing for him or her or whatever, right? You get out, say you do 10 hours. A lot of people don't like, a lot of guys like kind of slow down on the overtimes because like I got my kids to take care of. If you got a program at your job, how easy is that? I do 12 hours. Got a program for my kid, and I got my kid there, and I know he's safe. I do 12 hours. That's what you want me to do. I do that shit. I know he's safe. I don't have to worry about rushing to get home. Make sure he eat. Make sure I got a after school daycare. Like all that bullshit, all that money I spend it. Like if we can like incentivize jobs, right? Say like we give a job of tax cut. And we're like, look, you do a tax. Hey, look, we'll give you a tax cut. You put daycare here to help your employees. They're like, oh, well, sure. They help the employees with the daycare or whatever, or the school or whatever they got to do, right? You got a job with a school there. Boom, they getting a pristine education because public schools ain't shit anyway. So anything better than public school, to be honest with you, ain't trying to be funny. But you got a school right there for your kid. Your kid ain't getting bullied or no bullshit like that. You finish, you work with your kid what you need to, you go home, y'all talk and do whatever, and it's cool.
But what's crazy about that is Walmart fucked all that up.
Ooh, why you say that? I never knew about this, but why you say that?
Because what you are describing is basically how shit used to be, but it wasn't specific. It wasn't exactly like that. It wasn't like the job itself had a daycare, and what it was it was like community. You know what I'm saying? Like, so everybody, it would be like a whole town where every family got the family business. You know what I'm saying? Like the Johnsons, they own the auto shop, or they the mechanics. The Smiths are the other mechanics with the other fucking shop. Then you got the bakery, you got the butcher, you got the, you know what I'm saying,
right.
The movie theater for the Friday nights, you got the fucking the sock hop people, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody, like the whole town, everybody was like the ones that owned the businesses and shit. Right. Everybody knew each other. Then you had like maybe like one plant would show up, and then everybody else works at the plant. They work in the coal mines, they work wherever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? They got the fucking restaurant owners and all that stuff, but they had that community. So just like there's a baker, just like there's the fucking the mechanic, there's also the nursery. So everybody in the community going to the same goddamn the nursery shit, and because the community is the community, they like, you can still find some towns where the hours are all this, but everybody work their hours is the same. Right. So it's like, every job opens at 9:00 because everybody got to drop their kids off at the daycare by 8:00. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. But when Walmart showed up and everybody had to close their businesses and shit, which is like, did you know anything about that?
No, I never heard of that. That's why I said you need to tell me about this.
That's part of Walmart's come up. Because remember, like Walmart used to be like fucking Roses. Yeah. So you do remember that? Yeah. That was in our lifetime. And part of their come up was they were going to those small towns that were like I was describing, and they would open up their Walmarts there, and they got everything there. So when they started like paying as much as the plants were paying, so people would go and work there. And so all these small businesses couldn't keep up, and everybody started shutting down their businesses and going and working in Walmart. So instead of me having my own restaurant, I had to shut my restaurant down and go work and manage the fucking restaurant for Walmart. And like they started killing small towns all over the place, and then starting their 24-hour shit and fucking the hours up and all that. Right. And they did that all over the world and all over the country and shit. And so that's where
I did not know that.
Yeah, so the whole idea of community and the whole idea of everybody's together and all of that shit just got destroyed by Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why we're like this now, where it's like I live in Portsmouth, but I work in Windsor. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you live in Chesapeake and you work in West Virginia.
Well, yeah, I did work in West Virginia. That was crazy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like shit like that started happening because, Walmart fucked the whole shit up to where it's like I gotta go elsewhere to get a goddamn job. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's no longer, and now if you open a business, you gotta go elsewhere to open a business. Pretty so much. It's no more like, oh, I wanna open a business, I'm gonna open it in my town, I'm gonna open it, like we don't even have that sense of community anymore. Right. You don't know your neighbors.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It used to be like, you open up this shit and, there goes Mr. Johnson open up a shoe store. And it's like, it ain't there no more.
Yeah.
But I think we ran long enough.
All right. Yeah, my bad on that.
We good, because it's based how I planned. I'm gonna cut the hell out of this one. I'm gonna edit this tonight. Anything else you want to add to?
Man, that's it, man. That's all I had. I wanted to get people ready, because finances, man, that's our biggest bargaining chip, man, to be honest with you. I mean, I think a lot of things that happen with the whole, minority black community or whatever, is because we don't really have any bargaining chips as far as like people who's willing to stick their necks out there and is not afraid of their job letting them go. And like, if we get our finances together, we can say, look, man, we not spending our money at here, because I got Garen. He produced the same thing you guys do. So I'm gonna just put money in Garen. So fuck it. You know what I mean? Because you got the resources. And
yeah, well, we gotta get there, because that shit already exists and niggas ain't supporting. So